But I can't underscore enough, there will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
America has never lacked labor. It just always had a very clear idea of who should be doing it. The fields, the factories, the kitchens, the care work, always someone else's job. And now, according to our Secretary of Agriculture, that job should go to Medicaid recipients. Not because they volunteered, not because it pays well, but because in the eyes of power, the poor are disposable, and poverty is now a work assignment. Recently, the Secretary of Agriculture suggested that immigrants being deported from this country will be replaced on farms by Medicaid recipients. Let that sink in. We're now saying if you are poor, you work. If you are sick, you work. If you are disabled, an elderly, or a veteran who served this country and now relies on public health care, you work. Not because it's a calling, but because your life, your value, is reduced to whether you can produce cheap labor. For food you may not even be able to afford yourself. This isn't policy, it's punishment. It's the reincarnation of an old American idea that certain people were born to serve, and if they can't serve willingly, then the government will assign them value. Let's be real here. We know who she's not imagining out there in the fields. She's not thinking of white mothers in rural Ohio. She's not thinking of Vietnam vets who spent decades battling PTSD. She's not thinking of your grandfather on oxygen or your neighbor recovering from surgery. But when she says Medicaid recipients, she wants you to picture black or brown face, a poor person, someone else. This is not about labor. This is about lineage. This is about who America has always considered the help. And now that immigration is being restricted and borders are tightening, they're looking inward and they're asking, who's left to exploit? But here's the irony. The people they want to push into those fields are the same people who built the country in the first place, who fed America, who picked, planted, and processed without dignity, wages, or thanks. And we are not going back. This isn't just a cruel policy suggestion. It's a reflection of how far the political mind has strayed from compassion and logic. Because if they truly cared about labor shortages, they'd reform immigration, they'd raise wages, they'd offer health care, housing, and safety. But instead, they punish the poor for being poor, and they punish the sick for being sick. So the next time someone in power suggests that Medicaid recipients should work the farms, ask them, which ones? The single mothers in trailer parks? The white veterans on disability? The 74-year-old widower in Alabama? Because if you're going to assign people to the fields, don't pretend it's about fairness. Call it what it is. Modern day indentured labor dressed up as policy. And let me be clear, we've picked enough. We've bent our backs for centuries, and we are not going back to the fields for anyone's political fantasy.
So when you guys actually arguing who is in Epstein file or not, is Epstein file a hoax or not, when you guys are thinking of actually prosecuting Obama, you are going to starve. So, I've researched, I'm trying to get the videos that where people actually talking about the idea of the forced labor, and people are not talking about it. So the government is rolling out a proposal, to force. Actually, it was to force the beneficiary of Medicaid, the able-bodied beneficiary of Medicaid, to actually work in those farmland. They're also thinking about automation. Now, How will that automation work when some of these farmers actually, you know what, they're filing for bankruptcy, they're losing their farm because they can't get for the expenses of running this farmland. The big corporations are coming in, sweeping in, taking off the farmland. So what about that small scale farmer whose food you consume in the grocery? Because I think these big corporations, they export their food mostly. Then Trump was very, let's say he was very happy, to see that the Coca-Cola is moving from using the corn syrup to actually sweetener by sugarcane. But you all know, Americans' sugarcane plantation are less compared to what? The corn. What will happen to this farmer? Because this farmer is battling climate crisis. This farmer is battling what? A low market or low demand for their corns. And what will happen when all what will happen when all the corns, the sugar canes are depleted? They will import from other countries. That's one major problem that this administration is actually not thinking about Americans. Now, let's look. Who are the beneficiaries of Medicaid? These are all grannies. These are elderly parents. These are disabled members of the community. So these disabled members of community that they think they are able-bodied, they are going to be forced to actually, work in those fields. Okay, let's assume they're not going for those disabled, or the elderly. These other, percentage of people benefiting from Medicaid. These guys, one thing you have to know that they are working, but maybe it's low income earning. But the kind of wages, the skills that is needed to actually harvest those products, those berries, those soft vegetables that actually cannot be harvested by machines. It needs skills. These farmers will not be, they will be willing to train because I think they feel like there's no laborers. But will American accept that? Because the few beneficiary of percentage that benefit from Medicaid, these guys are working, even though they are earning less. Now, tell me, do you guys see where or when you are going to starve because of Donald Trump policies? So Department of Agriculture think like relocating the offices from one place to another is going to help farmers. How? Just this month, I think, when you saw farmers held a 3-day actually demonstration, tools down, to demonstrate against these what you call ash raids. The Secretary of Agriculture say what? There's no amnesty, so you are going to suffer. It's just forced labor. We'll be doing let's say like petty crimes. You are thrown to farm field. So tell me, what do you think, guys, about this whole saga, this whole idea of forced labor? Farm security is national security. The Trump administration take bold action to elevate American agricultural to national security. So I want to see if this program will really help to actually, rescue farmers from the crisis that they are experiencing. So, in summary about this article, the Trump administration, led by the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, unveiled a sweeping initiative aimed at recognizing Americans' agriculture as a vital to national security. As the same, farm security is national security. here are the key takeaways from the announcement. So I want to see, is this program going in any way to help these Americans farmers, or just be another, what we say, gaslighting farmers? So why it matters? Why they think it matters? Recent threats, including foreign nationals smuggling crop, damaging fungi, expose vulnerability in American agricultural system. Officials warned of infiltration effort by adversaries targeting farmland, research labs, technology, and food supply chains. So, what are the core components of this action? One is a secure US farmland. So, increased transparency and tougher penalties for foreign ownership, especially near strategic location. Okay? Number two, strengthen supply chain resilience. They emphasized on domestic manufacturing and partnership with friendly nations. So they want actually to partner with the friendly nations. So I want to see, does this friendly nation in any way help these American farmers? Defend against fraud and nutrition program. So crack down on criminal exploitation of USDA safety nets. Number four is protect research and innovation. So restrictions on collaboration with hostile nations. Prioritizing American first in all USDA program. And lastly, safeguard biosecurity. Preemptiveness in defense against plant and animal disease. So United Front and Leadership Support, they had this. So the Secretary of Defense, Homeland Security, and Attorney General strongly endorsed the plan. Obvious, there are Trump buddies, so they can't deny. They can't be seen as they're trying to actually fight this program. Governors and state agriculture officials also praised the efforts, citing concern over foreign land ownership and biosecurity, as if this is the main thing that is affecting American farmers. So the initiative reframed agriculture as a cornerstone of American sovereignty. We can't deny that. Food security and global leadership. All this, it did not alleviate the immediate economic hardship. All this program, okay, we think here it will have a future impact, but it does not alleviate the current economic hardship faced by many farmers. It's creating a divide between security-focused policies and economic-focused policy. So basically, Trump is trying to actually, pull on his side, on safety side, but the economic side of these small farmers, there's nothing there.